The air in the car felt thick, heavy with the kind of silence that screams louder than words. My hands gripped the steering wheel, knuckles whitening, as the wipers slashed through the rain pelting the windshield. My wife, Lena, sat beside me, her phone screen casting a faint glow on her face. She hadn't spoken since we left the house, her fingers tapping out messages with a rhythm that felt like a pulse, steady, secretive, alive. I glanced at her, her lips pressed tight, and something twisted in my gut. Family reunion, she'd called it, her voice bright when she'd begged me to drive her to her sister's engagement party tonight. But the text I'd glimpsed on her phone an hour ago, before she snatched it away, wasn't from her sister. It was from him. The rain-soaked road stretched ahead, headlights carving tunnels through the dark. My mind churned, replaying the moment I saw the name, Mark, and the words, "Can't wait to see you tonight." My chest tightened, a dull ache spreading like poison. Lena had laughed it off when I asked, her voice too sharp, too quick. "Just a friend from work, Tom. Don't make it weird." But the way her eyes darted away, the way her hand trembled as she tucked her phone into her purse, it was a crack in the foundation of our marriage, small but undeniable. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But doubt had taken root, and it was growing thorns. The venue was a sprawling estate, its windows glowing gold against the stormy night. Cars lined the gravel drive, their tires crunching as we pulled in. Lena adjusted her dress, a deep green number that hugged her curves, and flashed me a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Ready?" she asked, her voice light but strained, like a wire pulled taut. I nodded, my throat dry, and followed her inside, the weight of that text pressing against my ribs. The ballroom buzzed with laughter, clinking glasses, and the hum of a string quartet. Lena's sister, Claire, stood at the center, radiant in white, her fiancé beaming beside her. Relatives swarmed, their voices a chaotic symphony of joy, but I felt like an outsider, scanning the crowd for a face I didn't want to find. Lena slipped away almost immediately, murmuring something about helping Claire. I watched her weave through the guests, her movements too deliberate, her glances too quick. My pulse quickened. Was he here? I grabbed a drink from a passing tray, the champagne cold against my palm, and tried to focus. The room smelled of roses and polished wood, the chandeliers casting fractured light across the marble floor. But my eyes kept drifting to Lena. She stood near the bar now, laughing with a man I didn't recognize. Tall, broad-shouldered, his hand brushing her arm as he leaned in to whisper something. My stomach lurched. I told myself it was nothing, colleagues, old friends, harmless. But the way she tilted her head, the way her fingers lingered on his sleeve, it was a language I didn't speak but understood too well. "Tom." Claire's voice cut through my haze. She hugged me, her perfume sharp and floral. "So glad you made it. Lena's been a lifesaver tonight." Her smile was genuine, but it only deepened the knot in my chest. If this was just a family event, why did it feel like a stage for something else? I mumbled congratulations, my eyes flicking back to Lena. The man was gone, but she was checking her phone again, her expression unreadable. I wandered through the crowd, the noise pressing against me like a physical weight. Snippets of conversation floated by, Claire's wedding plans, Uncle Ray's bad knees, but none of it anchored me. My mind kept circling back to the past few months. Lena's late nights at work, her sudden need for space, the way she'd started locking her phone. Each memory was a breadcrumb, leading me somewhere I didn't want to go. In a quieter corner, I found myself near the open patio doors. The rain had slowed to a drizzle, the air cool and heavy with the scent of wet earth. I stepped outside, needing to breathe, needing to think. That's when I heard her voice, low, urgent, coming from the shadows near the garden. "I told you not here," Lena whispered. My heart stopped. I pressed myself against the wall, the stone cold against my back, and peered around the corner. There he was. Mark. I recognized him now, her work friend, from the company picnic last summer. His hand was on her waist, his voice a murmur I couldn't quite catch. Lena shook her head, but she didn't pull away. The sight hit me like a fist, raw and bruising. My legs felt unsteady, but I couldn't move, couldn't look away. She said something else, her tone sharp, and he laughed, a soft, intimate sound that made my skin crawl. I wanted to storm over, to demand answers, to shatter the moment with my anger. But I was frozen, trapped by the fear of what I'd hear. What if she loved him? What if our life, our home, our plans, our quiet nights together, was a lie? My mind raced, rationalizing, bargaining. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe they were just close friends. But the way his fingers brushed her cheek, the way she didn't flinch, it was a betrayal written in gestures, not words. I slipped back inside, my heart pounding so loud I was sure everyone could hear it. The party felt surreal now, a blur of smiling faces and meaningless chatter. I found a chair in a corner and sat, my drink forgotten, my hands trembling. Lena reappeared minutes later, her cheeks flushed, her smile too bright. "There you are," she said, sitting beside me. "Having fun?" I stared at her, searching for the woman I'd married. The one who'd cried in my arms when her father died. The one who'd laughed until she couldn't breathe when we got lost on our honeymoon. Was she still there, or had I been loving a ghost? "Who's Mark?" I asked, my voice low, steady despite the storm inside me. Her smile faltered, just for a second. "I told you, just a friend." She reached for my hand, but I pulled back, the motion instinctive. Her eyes widened, a flicker of guilt crossing her face before she masked it with a laugh. "Tom, come on. Don't do this here." "Do what?" I snapped, louder than I meant to. Heads turned and Lena's face reddened. She grabbed my arm, pulling me toward a hallway, away from the crowd. The air was cooler here, the noise muffled, but the tension between us was a living thing, clawing at the space. "Talk to me," I said, my voice shaking now. "What's going on, Lena? I saw you. With him." Her eyes darted away, then back, and for a moment, I thought she'd deny it. But then her shoulders slumped, and she let out a breath that sounded like surrender. "It's not what you think," she said, but her voice was weak, unconvincing. "Mark and I, we got close. Work was stressful, and you were always so busy and—" "Stop." The word cut through her excuses like a blade. My chest ached, not with anger now, but with a grief so deep it threatened to drown me. "How long?" She hesitated, her eyes glistening. "A few months. But it's over, Tom. I swear. I was going to tell you after tonight." I laughed, a bitter, broken sound. "After tonight? When you were out there whispering with him in the dark?" My voice cracked, and I hated how vulnerable it made me sound. "You brought me here, to your sister's party, knowing he'd be here. Knowing you'd—" I couldn't finish. The words felt like glass in my throat. Lena reached for me again, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I didn't mean for this to happen. I love you, Tom. I do. I got lost." Her words were a knife, twisting deeper because they weren't enough. Love wasn't supposed to feel like this, like a lie you told yourself to keep breathing. I turned away, my vision blurring, and walked back into the ballroom. The party was still alive, oblivious to the wreckage in my heart. Claire caught my eye, waving me over, but I couldn't face her. Not now. I stepped outside again, the rain heavier now, soaking through my jacket. Lena's voice called after me, but I didn't stop. My phone buzzed in my pocket, and I pulled it out, half expecting another lie. But it was a text from Claire. "Check your email. I'm so sorry." Confused, I opened my inbox. There was a message from Claire, sent an hour ago, with an attachment, a screenshot of a text thread between Lena and Mark. My hands shook as I scrolled through it, each message a fresh wound. Plans to meet tonight. Flirtations that made my stomach churn. And then the last one from Lena. "I can't leave Tom. But I can't stop thinking about you." The rain mixed with the tears I hadn't realized were falling. I stood there, alone in the storm, the weight of her betrayal crashing over me. Inside, the party went on, a mockery of the life I thought we had. I didn't know what came next, confrontation, forgiveness, or walking away. But as the thunder rolled, one truth was clear. The woman I loved had broken us, and I wasn't sure I could ever piece us back together.